Hot breath.
Joel.
Hey.
What's happening? It's right, man.
We're doing it.
We doing it. It's going down. I'm the icing on the cake. You wanted some icing? Here I am.
I appreciate you so much for doing this, man. This is really it's really an honor, to be honest. We'll go ahead and just dive right in then.
Yeah, that's how I like to do it. Yeah, let's not stress it. Just make it conversation. We talking.
If you could just say your full name into the microphone, please.
Rod Man.
Rod Man.
Yeah.
Thank you for being on Hot Breath, buddy.
Hot Breath. Yeah. The podcast.
Yes. So.
Yeah, you're in the podcast world.
It's the new age.
I know, man. I did a podcast at somebody's grandmama's house.
That's
I'm like, who house is this? Who house we in? Oh, this is my grandmama's. Okay.
Well, it's a long way from the Adam Carolla podcast, I guess.
Yeah, Adam Carolla Next Level podcast. Next Level, yeah. He has a facility. Yeah, he has a facility.
You've done everything up to this point. I have to ask, first off, is it true that you didn't know you won Last Comic Standing until seeing it on TV?
That when I didn't know who won particularly, but I kind of knew, like, I would say a day before, because we had to go do, the winner got to go do the Tonight Show, but I still didn't believe it. I didn't believe it, even though I was doing the Tonight Show, and then I went and they had winner of Last Comic Standing there, and the show was coming on that night, so I was in a hotel room in New York by myself when I seen the final, and I still didn't believe that I had won it, but when I seen the confetti come down, I said, okay, I did that thing, but I was in a little small hotel room in New York, just did the Tonight Show, so, but, you know, it started calling, so I knew something was good was happening.
Well, I imagine you got a lot of calls after winning.
A lot of calls and a lot of, you know, just you can hear people in the background, just excitement. So that's what it's been, man. It's been like, where you been? It's like been excitement. So all around. So I got old people who used to know my earlier stuff, and then I got new people who didn't know nothing about me. So it's been that kind of like refreshing thing going on with me, man. And I've been doing this for 20 years, so I'm a 20-year overnight sensation. So yes, I'm enjoying it, man.
Yeah, I mean, 20 years in the game is something a lot of people don't know about you, and your resume is impressive even before Last Comic Standing. But how did winning Last Comic Standing change your career compared to other accomplishments like HBO or a Comedy Central special?
Well, it exposed me to America, so it put me in America's living room, and I see America because I travel, but you don't know who this comedy, I call it That Good Funny, my comedy, who is it affecting, or who is enjoying it. So you don't know that I didn't know that till we went out on tour, how big being on that network television is, because when we went to these shows, they were like, whoa, you know, we're doing these big houses on tour, and people were going crazy, and I was closing all them shows, and they was like, yeah, that's right, man, and you know, that's why I don't like to take too many pictures now, because I took so many pictures. I'm pictured out right now. My picture level is about on 2.
So, like, at a show now, will people pay to take pictures with you?
No, I can't charge a fan. You pay to come see me. I can't. I would not feel right about that. So no, it's if I come out and take pictures, we gonna be taking pictures. Try to keep them selfies to a minimum.
You clearly not only had an impression on America, but also the network of NBC, because now you got a television show on the horizon here.
That's what they tell me, Joel. So we working with you know, that's a new world and arena for me. So I'm a neophyte in that world. So I had to learn that world, because I can get the mic and get on stage and do my thing there. So I try to surround myself with the TV people who've been in it. Wanda is gonna be one of the executive producers, a guy named Kenny Smith, who did The Game, but like now he's a great writer, so he was able to capture my voice and help me flesh out my story. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I think it's gonna be a cool look. So it's set in Villa Rica. It's gonna be set in Villa Rica, so that's
Hometown.
right down the street. Yeah.
Was that something you even had on like your to-do list, or did they approach you with the idea, concept, and it already written?
No, this was something, I said about the show, I never was tripping about the money portion of it. I was excited about the development part of the deal of winning the show. I was like, oh, you get to develop a show. So yeah, that was definitely on the vision board to do that, because I always say stand-up is my tree, but other things should sprout from your tree. So that was one of the things I said, okay, I would like that to sprout from a tree, because, all the successful comedians I've seen, that's a natural progression for them. So you got to step your foot in that water just to see where you at in that world too, because it's gonna feed the stand-up. So it's all, and people everywhere I went, win the show. So I was like, yeah, I don't know. So when it came time, you go in and pitch your idea. I went through about 10 writers before I decided on a writer.
Wow.
So that's a whole process. So it's a whole nother world. So I'm excited about that challenge too.
And it's very autobiographical. I mean, I think the concept is really you moving from LA back to Villa Rica to help out your mom.
Yes, I would say autobiographical. I would say loosely based. So
okay.
yeah, you don't want to. Yeah, I'm gonna write the book and give you all the stuff. But yeah, it'll be based on my comedy. So if you like my comedy and the story that I tell in there, you'll be able to hear them on TV too.
A comedian wanting a TV show is one thing, but being able to actually get the opportunity to have one. I mean, I'm not sure you're aware of this. You're only the second Last Comic Standing winner to get a TV show.
Oh man, you just gave me a fact right there. Because who was the first?
Eliza Schlesinger.
Now, did it air or did she just do a pilot?
I think it aired, but it was like her hosting a show. It's not like, I guess yours will be more like a sitcom, like a multi-camera.
Yeah, I'm from that mode. We come home and sit down on Thursday night, when you had them good shows on. So and watch some TV. Ooh. Not the variety. People go to variety, and those things were offered. That stuff that's already be in place, so they can plug you right into that. But I want to come with something a little bit more original and something true to my character and how I roll. So I think America will dig it.
Yeah, quality entertainment, you're saying.
Yeah, that good funny crock pot. Yeah, put some ingredients in it, season it, let it boil down. Yeah, then put it on the plate.
Well, you being one of the only comics from that show to get a TV show, I mean, what do you think you've been doing to stay relevant that others may aren't?
Stay funny. It ain't no other way around it. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing else. Whatever you think it is, it ain't that. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody has in this comedy world, anybody that's went anywhere has been consistently funny. So it ain't no way around that. So it don't matter where you put your funny at, but it's gonna have to be quality funny for you to have any amount of success at all.
And all that quality funny started right in Atlanta.
Uptown Comedy Club in Buckhead, second floor. Yeah.
Oh, the old Uptown.
Yeah, the old one, the first one. Yeah, the line used to go down the stairs. That's when they had Blockbuster Video right behind Blockbuster.
Oh, what was that experience like?
Man, it was always cool because you never knew when you was gonna go up. I started on like a Tuesday night, so I missed like the Comedy Act was the big place, and then Uptown was this new club that just had opened that I learned later. But I used to see the Comedy Act sign always at Uptown, so I guess somebody took the Comedy Act sign and put it at Uptown when they went out of business. But it was you open mic night. So just like any comedian would start open mic night Tuesday night. Earthquake was the host and owner of the club. So that he would come in. The show could be started, and he would come in and just grab the mic, tell the DJ, hit him with the hands, and tell him, get whoever on stage, get them off stage, because I'm about to go on stage. And he would go up and crush for like an hour, and then, you sign up open mic, you get there early, hoping to go on, you don't know, but, sometimes Quake would go by the list, and sometimes he would just ball the list up in his hand, and you didn't know who he was going to call, and he'll be done an hour just crushing, killing the room, and then he'll just call you, run in, you next, and then you had to go behind that. So if you had to get funny, you had to be funny, because it strengthens you at that. So it was I felt like it was my beginning stages to toughen me for comedy, and then we would go to a club called 559 right after that. Bruce was the host, and that was a rough room. You could get booed at any time, or shot, booed or shot. So you didn't know which way it was gonna go. So so I've been, I've done that. So it's just been a natural progression. But yeah, stay funny, man.
Coming back to Atlanta, do you notice how far the scene has come from those old Uptown days? Yeah,
because when I first got into comedy, it was just the beginning of you seeing a lot of African American acts. It was that was getting their shine. You had Def Comedy Jam, BET Comedy Beer. So, these was when Earthquake and Bruce and Steve Harvey, that was when they was becoming stars. So, and Chris Tucker was right out of Atlanta. So we seen him on Def Comedy Jam, and he would come back, and people would just go crazy. And Chris was like, I got mine, y'all get y'all. So, that was right after Friday. So he was out, and a lot of us, wanted to be Chris. Everybody wanted to be Chris. And then everybody wanted to be Quake, and then everybody wanted to be Don D.C. Curry. So it was always trying to find your style, your voice. And that's the beautiful thing about comedy. Once you get that down, you're on your way then.
Were you primarily in the urban side of the scene, or would you cross over as well?
I started urban. I started all the way urban, but I always knew my comedy would play anywhere. So, when I went to the Montreal Just for Laughs Comedy Festival and did that, I think it was like 2003 or something, and that's when I kind of knew. I said, okay, this thing is bigger. So I started, placing myself in more mainstream rooms and working that out and getting better. And still did my urban rooms, because comedy it has no. I don't know why people try to box it, because if it's funny, it should work anywhere. But some people only cater to one. Some people Trader Joe and some people Public. Trader Joe only gonna sell Trader Joe products, but Public sell other people's products. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a storyteller, so stories work anywhere.
Yeah,
I'm an observationist. Yeah, so I always knew I can do comedy. So I didn't try to box it in. But yeah, I started urban, and now I guess I would be mainstream. Am I mainstream?
Well, that's what they call it. The comedy, it's mainstream and urban, and comedy is still segregated for some reason.
But see, that's where I disagree. I think it has to be a person of a point. Because my shows, you come to my shows, it's not segregated. Now, some places I go, it's just gonna be more of one race or whatever. But you come to my show, it's like a melting pot of America. So that's what the show did. You had everybody watching, no matter what their background in life was. If you funny, you're gonna capture the masses. People gonna come check it out.
And that's my goal as a comedian. But there are times, I'll go and perform at Uptown and be the only white person in the entire building.
Yeah, so I understand that, because that's exactly where I started. I wanted to go to the Punchline early, and I used to go sign up for the Punchline, and they had like a lottery, but they would I never won the lottery. I would never win the lottery. So So after those disappointments, you go where you can get some stage time. So are you dealing with that where they will put me on stage?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
as much stage time as possible.
Right, because at the end of the day, that's what you're gonna need, some stage time.
Right.
So it don't matter where you get stage time. You got to find that deck to get on and make something happen.
Well, that must have felt good for you, not making the lottery at Punchline, but then right after you win, you're doing like 8 sold out shows there.
Yeah. See, yeah, I'm on both God on you on that. See how God works. See how God works.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah. So that's all. So you don't, never stop doing your work, because that's a club I used to try to get into and couldn't get on, and boom, now I'm selling out. Boom. So beautiful. You can't plan that out.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
And I would say the Atlanta comedy scene is stronger than ever. I'm not sure if you knew this. This past year, we had 8 comics on Last Comic Standing, 6 made it to the semifinals, and now we have 1, Clayton English, in the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
What would that mean for comedy if Clayton wins? Because I know you've mentioned in comedy, they only usually let one black guy, quote, blow up at a time.
You read that somewhere? I said that?
Oh, yeah. I saw an interview you did where you said that.
Yeah, because, people feel like we all pulling from the same pool of people. So, but black people have different tastes, too. So in comedy and in life, we are not all the same. So, and just like any other white people, Asian people, Indian people, they're all not the same. So they have different groups of people. And so I do feel like Clayton has as a greater shot as anybody. It's going to be who's going to be funniest on Wednesday night. That's the whole thing. And I met him, cooler dude, always smiling. So I'm expecting big things from him.
How long were you in the scene before moving?
Oh, that's why I built out my relationship. So I was probably 12 years in before any move. So yeah, and I always been back and forth too. So that's home. That's roots. So I will always have a love and an affection for that, because I can go there, and I know people gonna come see me. That's why I was able to do 8 shows at the Punchline, and because my people gonna come holler at me. So I know that about that. So it's always gonna be little. Just had family reunion this weekend, so I gotta, that's my people.
Well, what made you want to move away from your people?
Because I was always taught you gotta, eventually you have to, at my time, you eventually gotta move to L.A. or New York. I knew I wasn't gonna go to New York. I had been there before a few weeks and did the whole thing there. And, being a country boy, southern boy, that's a little, I ain't got time to get on all these trains, figuring out all these train routes and all that. So I know I'm not going to do that. I like a car. I like to drive. So when the time came, I was just like, cause you can get caught in people say you should have a deal, or, you see all kind of stories when you should move, but I always been a risk taker, so I just moved when I felt it was time to move, and I knew it was gonna be hard, and I knew it was gonna be a grind because I had a young family. So, we did our thing. We persevered. So that's a testament of that, because most people come out here and they move back, be like, I can't do it. So if you can make that excuse, or you can say, okay, I'm gonna take my lumps and do it my way and keep, have faith that things don't turn. And that's when the Last Comic Standing came along. I like, boom. And I was doing my work. So that's the whole thing. So you got to do your work. You can't always look at other people and be like, oh, why did it happen for them? Because that person was working and you was not. So stop tripping.
Yeah, and you were actually invited to do Last Comic Standing.
I was invited when it was something on my vision, that if something like that came along, because I know I needed it was time, because I was feeling good about where I was at, just mentally and spiritually and all that good stuff, and just funny. I was on my funny, and I got the call, and that was something on my vision, and I just said yes, and they didn't place me. I had to audition each round, so it was no give me nothing.
Right.
I had to go out there show what I can do, and the people liked it, the judges liked it, and that's how it went, man. So it was I always say it was my time. I went in with my blinders on, and and focus on the goal. So if they do that, the best man or woman gonna always prevail.
Did you move to LA with any prospects, or was it just all vision?
Vision is important. You gotta have some visions. But yeah, I had a few leads and prospects. So and people can tell you one thing, but when you show up, it can become another thing. But I had a great person who promised me I could sleep on their flow, and they let me sleep on their flow, and till I got my sea legs, and it just went from that. Just making the rounds. You have prospects, but you still got to show your face, and people got to get to know you, and you got to go to these auditions, and you got to still try to keep your road stuff going. So it's some then you got to it's a different world than where I'm from. If I can invoke, it's a different world. Yeah, old school. Yeah, but no, it's you have to be able to adjust and be flexible, man. That's what comedy is. That's what stage is. You perform on stage, somebody can holler out something. You got to be able to adjust and be flexible and have something to go. So it's that kind of place to me. And if you're able to handle that, you'll be all right.
How long did you sleep on the floor for?
Oh, I slept on the floor for a year and a half.
Wow.
So yeah. So no, it wasn't no. Well, I had a futon. I moved up to a futon.
Oh, nice.
But they had a dog, and I like dogs, but this particular dog used to pass gas, and he had the whole house just funky. So yeah, I did not appreciate that at all. Yeah, he ran away on 4th of July.
So while you're sleeping on the floor / futon, are you doing open mics, or are you getting in the clubs? I'm getting in the clubs. I was a road comedian, so I had a few gigs, so I could live, take care of what I needed the bare necessities. But those dry up after a while because people don't want to fly you here. They budget this, and you're dealing with as I could say, janky promoters sometimes. Right. Janky promoters, but most of the time, because that's in the stage you kind of managing yourself. You ain't you're not all the way into the Hollywood representation yet. And I've had bad managers, bad agents. People promised me stuff, didn't happen. So you grow from those, man. So you gotta know that those things are gonna happen along your journey. You just gotta keep on journeying. Well, another thing that happens along the journey, especially Atlanta comedians, is getting booed. Every Atlanta comedian has a story of getting booed. What is yours?
You got to get booed. Mine was one Fayetteville State years ago. I said something about the school, and they didn't appreciate it, but it wasn't a full boo. It was just like get your ass off stage, more type of that. It was more combative than a whole boo.
Oh, you've never been just full out booed?
No, not ooh. I mean, yeah, ooh. No. It's no reason that to ever happen. You might boo a comment, but yeah, you're not gonna boo me. That wouldn't make any sense right there. You didn't come to laugh if that gonna happen.
But I know at the old Uptown that was almost a badge of honor.
Oh, you could, but that's why I knew I was funny out the gate. That's what I always said. I was funny out the gate. So I didn't have a no boo. Now, I seen cats who did struggle to find that audience, but I always had a few good funny going on for me. So I just had to grow and mature in it. But and I'm still doing that. But I started funny.
I would imagine something that definitely had to mature is your delivery.
Yeah,
because
man. That's why I say stage time. It's nothing. And that ain't nothing I can say. Oh, practice I do. No, that's just how I talk. That's what I do.
But I could see starting out early, it may come off as kind of like awkward and confusing for people?
It could be, but it's some. I always say some gems, and the comedy got to be a little smart to it. So it comes off as awkward, or I don't know what people describe it as. I've heard it's I don't know. People tell me everything about my comedy, but the prevailing thought is that it's funny though. It's funny though. So I don't try to analyze it. I just when they call my name, I call it the comedy Holy Ghost. So I get the comedy Holy Ghost, and I do my thing.
You mentioned earlier that finding your voice is really when you start to make gains. How long did it take you to find yours?
I don't know. I don't have a time limit, and your voice should always be evolving. Because your comedy gonna evolve. So I would say I just have a style of comedy. I'm a storyteller, and I tell my stories in a particular way, and people appreciate it. But no, it's nothing I have to practice, so to speak. It's trying to hone the craft, man. It's a craft. I'm a craftsman. And I'm an artist. I look at comedy as art. It's art. So be an artist. Paint some pictures. Show me something.
Did you always tell stories? Or is that something you evolved into?
I think, I've always been a storyteller. And I didn't know what it was called. I had a comedian years ago named Tony Tone. He told me, you can talk about anything, he said, because they're listening to you. Because I didn't like the silence. That's why people he don't even take a breath. Because I used to talk the whole time. And I was like, I got to start taking a breath. But he's like, no, it don't matter. He's like, they listening to every word you say. And he's like, every other word is going to be some funny in there. So people ain't even up on it yet. So I always felt like I was doing something amazing, but I didn't know what it was. So now I kind of get it a little bit more where the funny lies. So I enjoy comedy. That's the whole thing. People have fun in my show because I'm having fun telling it too. I'm enjoying it because I'm present with the joke. So if you come to my show, that even if I'm telling the story, it's gonna be some differentness in the story because I'm living that story. Each time you hear a story, it's be a little bit different.
And is that your writing process with storytelling? Is you go up and just tell a story and just gradually hone it?
I graduate, and I'm always trying to, make that story tighter. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely, I would say that's my writing process. And I don't write per se the whole thing. The concept is the idea. I wouldn't say I can write joke for joke, but no, I know. If you look at it on paper, you be like, I don't know where the funny lies, but let me go tell it. So I live live. I don't live on paper, really. I live in your face.
Well, that is the great thing about your stories is that they are like joke. And a lot of comics on Last Comic Standing, they're doing shorter bits just to get jokes out. But a testament to your storytelling is that you're able to take up your whole time on Last Comic Standing with maybe one story.
Yeah,
and it kills.
And I've seen some people copied that this year. But the goal is to be funny, Joel.
You're right.
So it's nothing. If you overthink it, then that's when you're gonna get in trouble with it. So it's like your first instinct is usually the right one, but then we get caught up in the, messing with it too much or anything, and that's life. We always. So I try to trust that. Boom, that's funny. Boom, that's funny. If I find another piece, boom, put that with it. If I find another piece, boom, put that with it. So now we just got all these little boom, boom, booms in the joke. But I'm looking for funny all day. I'm not. That's my job. I'm in the funny business. So I'm looking for funny all day. If I can find it, that's what I try to give it to the people.
And how do you know when a moment in your life is primed for like a joke? Because you're talking about, like a Seinfeld, like precision on a moment in your life, and you're building a whole universe around it. For example, all right, the self-checkout joke. That's one of your, I would say, most popular jokes, and it's just hilarious. On the surface, this is just, you're at the grocery store, a lady says, hey, this aisle is open. You go over there and it's self-checkout, and you have to do it yourself, and the computer asks for customer service. On the surface, that's the story. But you're able to turn this into a 3-minute piece that is like laugh, 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 laugh.
Okay, and I like you use the word piece, because your comedy should be little pieces. Them my babies, man. So each story is my baby. So I'm in the store, and these things are happening. These things have happened to you. They happen every time I go to the store. So I'm trying to make sure I don't leave any of what happens when we go in these stores, and we got to check ourselves out. What all is going, because that's a universe. That's a thing. They had meetings about this and said people would love to do this. So, you know, how did they know that? And so I'm always trying to get the behind the story. Then when I put myself in these situations, it's like, oh, okay, I see what's going on. This is a hell of a hustle right here. We shopping here and working here. Okay. So that's a committee got together and decided that that's what people would like to do, and people love it. So, and I love it. I'm actually a good cashier now. Know my fruit codes and everything.
As soon as it happens in the middle of it, are you like, okay, this would be a good joke?
I think comedy is lived in. So yeah. It's just about your life. If you want to delve into your life, you can do comedy. But I think the best comedy has always been when it has a personal touch to it. So you mentioned Seinfeld or the Pryors or the Eddies. It always had a personal touch to it. Even Chris Rock or Chappelle's, George Carlin was, you know, it's like they had a passion about this stuff. So I guess one word I would say, comedy you got to have a passion for it. It's got to be passionate. That's the only way it's going to be believable if it's passionate. So
I know you mentioned the art of comedy, so that's what I'm really interested in, is that comedic process. And I mean, you may go on stage and tell the story about self-checkout, but then is it a year or so later where this is like a bit that is laugh per line?
I'm from the school of no joke is truly old. It's just you have to dust it off sometime or polish it up. You know, some people live in the, I got to burn this set. I don't believe you have to burn a set. I believe all jokes are unfinished products. If some you can't use no more, but some bits live on. I've been fortunate enough to have bits that I've been able to pull back and say, oh, this can still work and bring it up to date. Or you're gonna have new stuff happening. So it's the process. It's the process, man.
I guess everybody's
whatever your
different.
Process. Like, what kind of comedian would you say you are?
I want to do everything. I want to be like you and have, my own TV show and have creative control of my career. I would love to be a storyteller. And that's why I'm asking you, is because that's what I struggle with right now, is stepping out and telling a story and it being funny. It could be interesting and they're listening, but I'm not getting, consistent laughs.
Well, you got to go back to the lab. Yeah, that's on you. That's not the people's fault now, Joel. That's not the people's fault. Yeah, you got to go back to the lab and say, hey, what can we take out? What can we add? What this story ain't working, man. So concept could always be funny, but it's funny concept, but you gotta add some seasoning to it to make it go. And you create your world. You create your comedic world, man. So, why great people are great, because they do their own thing. They do it their way.
You make it sound so easy.
Yeah. It ain't. I wouldn't say easy. It's what you consider hard or easy, because everybody's level of that is different. So I don't know what you consider hard, because at the end of the day, you have to be honest with yourself on some things and say, okay, do I want to go down with it? Because it's gonna be uncomfortable. It's supposed to be. So it's gonna be a little uncomfortable, and then it'll get comfortable. Then it'll get funny because you comfortable. Boom. Now we're working with fish grease. We frying with fish grease.
Yeah. Now we're cooking here. So so that's
the thing, man. So Yeah. How long we been talking, man? How long did I allot this time?
Oh, we can get out of here.
Yeah, I think you got. Yeah, I think we good. Yeah, we're excellent.
All right. Well,
you.
Is there anything else you want the world to know about Rodman?
Oh man, just I guess it's mandatory to say follow me on Twitter at Rodman Comedy. And check out my website, rodmancomedy.com. You know, see where I'm coming to a city near you, man, with that good funny. So that's how we doing, and I appreciate the love. I appreciate the Atlanta love. That's probably where I'm gonna do the special at, man. So we're working towards that. So you know, it's always love, man. And anytime you need me, I'll holler back at you, man.
All right.
I feel like you're my little brother. I feel like you're my little brother now.
Well, we learned a lot, and I appreciate your time, Rodman.
All right, Joe. Good bees, and keep it funny. Keep it funny. Okay? That's all you got to do. Just keep it funny.
Roger that.
Go. All right. There's no other way. All right, babe.
Thanks, man. All right.
Yeah.
Hot breath. Hot breath.